But not tonight. So what I'm going to say to you is the experience that I had in my life with my son taking HemoHIM. My son, my second son, had a stroke in July 2016. And at the time when he had the stroke, he was alone in his home by himself, and he was over in the Turks and Caicos, where my birth country. So when he had the stroke, he was flown to the Bahamas by air ambulance for the emergency surgery. I was here in Fort Lauderdale. When I got the news, I couldn't get on JetBlue that night, so the next morning I flew to Nassau, and the neurosurgeon said he couldn't wait for me because my son was dying and he had to move really fast. So as I got there, they were wheeling my son into the theater to have the surgery, and I begged the nurse to please let me whisper in his ear, because all medical people know the hearing is always there. So I said, "Brian, I'm here. Mommy is here." And so they took him down, and for hours we waited until they came back after the surgery was over. And another relative of mine, my nephew, my sister's son, came from Turks, and he was in the ambulance with him. And because they were saying the reason why it was important that he came with Brian is that they wanted Brian to stay awake. He could not have fallen asleep. It was very important that he didn't fall asleep. So my nephew spoke to him the whole way during the flight to Nassau. And so when we got back to Turks, I called over to Diane, my friend over here in Fort Lauderdale, because my son was so sick. After the second surgery, because the bone that was in his head at the first surgery had to be taken out, placed in his stomach for 6 months, and then after the 6 months, the bone had to be replaced in his brain again. And so the second surgery, it was very devastating, believe me. I don't have the time to tell you tonight. It was very devastating. So he was good after the first surgery, but after the second surgery, it seems like he got more sick. And I was so worried. Brian was so sick. He was sitting in his wheelchair all day because he was so weak, he was so lethargic. There were days when he couldn't eat, he couldn't breathe, he couldn't swallow. Oh God, what am I gonna do? So he said the nights when I had to take him to the emergency room at 2:30 in the morning because he couldn't breathe. And then when they got there, the only thing they would tell me was try to do some remedy because they didn't see where they can do anything for him. So I call over here to my friend Diane. Diane said, "Pat, I have just the thing. I just got this product. It's called HemoHIM." She said, "If I can get it to you in Turks," she said, "it will help Brian." She said, "because it works fast. It's functional," and that word functional is very important. It's functional, and I tell you, I don't want you all to underestimate the little package of HemoHIM, the little sachet, because it's power in the little sachet of HemoHIM. I started giving that sachet of HemoHIM to my son. After 3 days, I was in the kitchen preparing lunch for my son, and then I heard some noise in the bedroom because the neurosurgeon said to me, "Make sure he never falls, because God forbid if he falls and hit his head, that's a different story." So I ran in the bedroom and I said, "Brian, what's going on? What happened?" And he was already standing, going to the bathroom. 3 days after taking the HemoHIM. He was standing, and so because I know he was so weak, he could not walk on his own, I took him by the arm and tried to keep holding him up. He said, "Well, Mommy, I feel like I can make it." So I stood by his side and walked with him because he wasn't able to do it before. He was able to walk to the bathroom, but I stood by his side for assurance, to make sure he wouldn't fall. So he got there, and whatever assistance he needed, I helped him and everything, but he could not do that. And before he got the HemoHIM, he could not swallow. He could not breathe. People, I want you all to know that HemoHIM caused my son to breathe right, to swallow right, to go to the bathroom right. Right now I feel like I can have church. Oh God, because God is so good. I am so thankful that God let me get to know about the HemoHIM, and I want to give thanks to my sponsor Diane Galloway. She's not right here at the moment, but if it wasn't for Diane Galloway, I would not have known about the HemoHIM, and I'm very thankful, very, very thankful. And that is my testimony. I can say more, but I know I don't have time. But for myself, right here in Fort Lauderdale, because when I first got the HemoHIM, you know how your children, everybody's so skeptical sometimes. He said to me, "Mommy, you take one first," because he wanted me to test it out on myself before I give it to him. He said for me to take one. So I took one. I said, well, Brian, I don't want to keep on taking it because it's for you. So I took one, and then he started taking his. But when I got my own case and started, because I had knee surgery, and where my second son lives here in Fort Lauderdale, he lives upstairs, so I wasn't able to walk up the stairs without holding on the rails. But now, people, I can go up the stairs without holding on the rails. You know, I had to test myself. I had to truly test myself. I said, because this knee is not hurting no more. And I know I could not do it. I could not go up the stairs with the pain that I was feeling. I had to hold on the side rail for support. Now I can walk up the stairs without holding the rail because I have no pain.
Hi, my name is Josie. I'm from Madera, California. I'm here to tell you about a supplement called HemoHIM from the company Atomy. I was diagnosed with autoimmune disease. One of the diagnosis was Hashimoto syndrome. I suffered from lack of energy. I had very low appetite. I would always have, my stomach was always either turning, or I didn't know if I was going or coming. And so a friend of mine introduced me to this product and the supplement, and I started taking it. I started taking it once a day. And it helped me. So then she said, well, if you feel, I said, I'll try twice a day. So I started taking a package in the morning and in the evening. And I would go and get my blood checked. After the first 3 months of taking it, the doctor said that my blood count was higher than it was normal. And I'm very convinced that this product, this supplement is very good, and anybody with that condition should try it. Like I said, it's from the company called Atomy,